Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this fun and fluffy Yeti mug. I make mugs for every season to decorate our play kitchen, and this is the one I made for winter. This project is quick and easy, and I'll walk you through the entire process step by step. It includes crocheting the body of the mug and creating that fuzzy texture which is made with a cat slicker brush. I'll also be sharing lots of tips for managing your yarn, including showing you how I carry my yarn to ensure that the mug has the right shape. One last note before we start, I would be so grateful if you could please subscribe to my channel and like this video. That would help me tremendously. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So to make this project, I used light yarn. As you can see, I'm a big fan of Peyton's Astra. For the Yeti, I use white and blue. This blue is called medium blue. I also use medium tan for the coffee, and we're going to need a little bit of black for the eyes as well. I use a 3mm hook throughout. We're also going to need scissors, stitch marker, and a cat slicker brush to create that fur texture. So we're now ready to start crocheting. My first round is 6 single crochet in a magic circle. So I'm going to start with making a magic circle. Then I'm going to do 6 single crochet inside. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Then I'm going to grab the tail and pull tight to close and move on to round 2. For round 2 we need to increase, so we're going to do 2 single crochet in each of the stitch around. So 1 increase in each of the 6 stitches, meaning we're going to end up with a count of 12 at the end. So I just did my first stitch and I'm placing a stitch marker to keep count. I'm going back in the same stitch to do a second single crochet. Again, in the second stitch, 1 single crochet, going back in the same stitch for a second single crochet. Third one, 1 single crochet, and 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Going to do that for the 3 remaining stitches. As you can see, I like to crochet over my yarn so it's nice and secure at the end, and then pull it tight again at the end of round 2 to make sure the middle is nice and closed. This is the end of round 2. Now I have 12 stitches and we're ready for round 3. So for round 3 we're going to do a pattern of 1 single crochet followed by 1 increase. So the first stitch I'm going to do 1 single crochet. In the second stitch I'm going to do an increase, so that means 2 single crochet in this stitch, 1, and going back in the same one for a second one. Third stitch, going back to 1 single crochet. Fourth stitch or increase, so 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch. In the next stitch or increase, so 1, going back for a second single crochet. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the next stitch, 1 and 2, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, increase in the next stitch, and lastly 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and we finish with our increase in the last stitch. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second single crochet. This is round 3 and we have a total of 18 stitches. For round 4 we're going to do 2 single crochet followed by an increase. this is my first stitch, and the first one single crochet in the first stitch, in the second stitch another single crochet, and in the third stitch we do our increase. So one, going back for a second one. Again, one single crochet in the next stitch, one single crochet in the next stitch, two single crochet in the next stitch, one and two, one single crochet in the next stitch, one single crochet in the next stitch, or increase, so one and two in the next stitch, one single crochet in the next stitch, one single crochet in the next stitch, and our increase. So continue that pattern, and at the end of round 4 we will have a total of 24 stitches for this round. For round 5 we'll now be doing 3 single crochet followed by our increase. In our first stitch we're doing 1 single crochet. In the second stitch we're going to do another single crochet. In the third stitch another single crochet, and on the fourth stitch our increase. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second single crochet. So again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch for 3, followed by our increase, 1, 2. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and our increase, 1 and 2. So you can follow that pattern of 3 single crochets followed by an increase, and at the end of this round we will have a total of 30 stitches. For round 6 we'll be doing 4 single crochet followed by our increase. So in the first stitch we do 1 single crochet, second stitch we do 1 single crochet, third stitch 1 single crochet, fourth stitch 1 single crochet, and our increase, so 1 and 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So again, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch for 4, followed by our increase, 1 and 2. At the end of round 6 we will have a total of 36 stitches. For round 7 we'll be doing 5 single crochet followed by our increase. So we'll start with 1 single crochet in the first stitch, one single crochet in the second stitch. Oops, I'm struggling with this one. So this is the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in the fifth stitch, and our sixth stitch we'll be doing our increase. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second one. Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll be doing an increase. So 1 single crochet in a stitch, going back for a second. So keep that pattern of 5 single crochets followed by an increase for a total of 42 stitches at the end of round 7. For round 8 we'll now be doing 6 single crochets followed by our increase. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, 1 single crochet in the third stitch, 1 single crochet in the fourth stitch, 1 single crochet in the fifth stitch, 1 single crochet in the sixth stitch, and our increase. So 1 single crochet, going back for a second single crochet. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, followed by our increase. So 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. If you follow that pattern of 6 single crochet followed by an increase, at the end of round 8 we'll have 48 stitches. So round 9 is our last increase round. In this case we'll be doing 7 single crochet followed by our increase. So I'm going to do 1, so our second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet, sixth single crochet, and seventh single crochet. In the 8th stitch we'll be doing an increase, 1, going back for a second one, 2, and again 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, 6 single crochet, 7th single crochet, followed by our increase. So in the 8th, 1 and 2. At the end of this round, round 9, we'll have a total of 54 stitches. For rounds 10 and 11, we're simply going to single crochet in each of the stitch, keeping our stitch count at 54. So 1 single crochet in each of our stitches around for 2 rounds. And I will meet you here at the end of round 11. This is the end of round 11. I have a couple stitches left. You can grab your blue yarn. We're going to need it in the next round. So for rounds 12 to 16, we're still going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch round, but we're going to join the blue yarn as well. So we're going to start with 6 single crochet using our white yarn. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to grab my blue yarn and put it behind so I can yarn over, so then you don't have to sew it, weave the ends in later. It's all done for you. So just place it behind and crochet over it. That was 4, 5, and then just double check. That's 5. So my last one is our color change. You're going to insert the yarn over, grab the white yarn, but before we close the stitch, we're going to switch yarn and finish our stitch with the blue yarn. With the blue yarn, we're going to do 12 single crochet. So we're going to do 12 single crochet with the blue yarn, and I'll also be showing you how I carry my yarn around. So with this type of color work, you have to be careful of your tension. If your tension is too tight, your yarn is going to pull from the inside once you stuff it. So you have to really be careful. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can leave a big float on the inside, making sure you leave plenty of give for your yarn. Another technique you can do is crocheting over the strand that you're not using. So in this case, we'd be crocheting over the white with the blue. That can be quite useful. Sometimes, depending on your project, it makes the project thicker. But it's mainly not my favorite, because when we switch back, for example, a couple of stitches will switch back to crocheting with white, and if you crochet over with the blue, I feel like the color can peek through and it's not as clean. But if it's work for you, that's fantastic. My favorite way of carrying the yarn is something that I've learned, I think, when I was doing color work from knitting, and when you have to be very careful of your tension. So what I like to do is I basically go 4 or 5 stitches, and then every 4 or 5 stitches I grab my yarn that I'm not using and bring it forward in between basically my hook and my working yarn, and then close my stitch as usual. That means that my yarn gets caught in my work and there's no tension problem after that, and it keeps its shape nice and clean. I do have to admit though that this technique makes your yarn incredibly tangled, so you have to stop every so often to untangle it. but it's the best way that I've found for me to do this type of work. If you want more detail about this tip, I do have a blog post detailing a little bit more with plenty of pictures, so I'll be sure to link that in the description box as well. Just coming back to the instruction for this round, we first did 6 single crochet in white, followed by 12 single crochet in blue, and the rest of the round, which is 36 stitches, will be done in white. And I do everything still carrying my yarn all the way to the end of the round, and we're keeping in a stitch count of 54 for this round, so altogether 54 stitches, 6 single crochet in white, 12 in blue, and 36 in white. So this is round 12, and we're going to do the same for round 13, 14, 15, and 16. So 6 single crochet in white, 12 in blue, 36 in white, carrying our yarn all around, or whatever techniques works best for you. And I will show you what the inside looks like when I'm all done crocheting round 16. So we're back, this is round 16, and I'm just finishing the blue portion of round 16. I'm doing my color change and going back to the white. And here, because I'm not going to need my blue yarn anymore, I'm going to crochet over it a little bit so I don't have to weave it in later. So for maybe 3 or 4 stitches, I'm just going to crochet over it, and I'll be ready to cut my yarn. And you can kind of see it peeks through a little bit, so that's why I don't like to use that technique for the whole thing, but I will do it if I don't have to weave in my yarn. But as you can see, this is what it looks like on the inside, so it's nice and neat. Tension is no problem, and it has the right shape for the mug. And I'll show you as well, it's very tangled. Yep, so this is one drawback of this technique. So now I'm just finishing the rest of the 36 stitches of the white for round 16. This is what it looks like at the end of round 16. And now I'll be ready to move on to our first decrease round in round 17. So for round 17, we'll be doing 7 single crochets followed by 1 decrease. So we do 1 single crochet, in the next stitch another single crochet for 2, the next stitch another single crochet for 3, the next stitch another for 4, and the next stitch another for 5, and the next stitch another for 6, and the next stitch another for 7. And I'm going to do a decrease. I like to do an invisible decrease. I'm going to insert my hook in the front loops only of the first stitch, doing the same thing on the second stitch, then yarn over those 2 stitches, and then yarn over again. And again, so 1, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, 6 single crochet, 7 single crochet, and our invisible decrease. So front loops only, yarn over and yarn over again. So you can continue this pattern of 7 single crochet followed by a decrease. So we have a stitch count of 48 at the end of this round. For round 18, we'll be decreasing again, this time making 6 single crochets followed by a decrease. So this is my first single crochet, second single crochet, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And again, I'll be doing an invisible decrease in the next 2 stitches. again, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet, 6 single crochet, followed by our decrease. So continue this pattern of 6 single crochet followed by 1 decrease, so that at the end of round 18 our stitch count is down to 42. Round 19 is our last decrease round. In this case we'll be doing 5 single crochets followed by 1 decrease. This is my first one, second single crochet, third single crochet, fourth single crochet, and fifth single crochet. And using the next 2 stitches I'm going to do my invisible decrease, and again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 decrease using the next 2 stitches. So if you continue that pattern of 5 single crochet followed by a decrease, at the end of this round 19 we'll be down to a stitch count of 36. So for round 20 we're going to crochet 1 single crochet in each of the stitch, but crocheting in the front loops only. So insert your hook like so, so it's in the middle, so you grab only the front loop, and then do 1 single crochet in the front loops only for this round, keeping our stitch count at 36. So this is my last stitch of round 20. This is the end for the mug body basically. So now we can cut off our yarn, and I like to finish with an invisible finish. So what I do is I grab my yarn and insert it through a needle, and then what you're going to do is skip the next stitch. So that's what I'm showing you. You're going to skip and insert your needle from back to front in this following stitch. So in this stitch, back to front, and then you go back to your working stitch through the middle, and weave your yarn. So that way you have a nice finish that's nice and even. And you can weave in through the rest of your tail, make sure it's nice and secure. And we'll move on to the next part. So next up we'll be working on the handle of the mug, and it starts the same way as the mug with a magic circle, making 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we close the hole with the tail, and move on to the next round. And for the rest of the handle, it's really simple. You just do 1 single crochet in each of the 6 stitch round for creating length basically, so as many rows as you want. I normally do 18 rows, so round 2 to 18, 6 single crochet in each of the stitch around to create the handle of the mug. So keeping your count stitch at 6, just doing 1 single crochet in each of the stitch. So I'll be doing that 6 single crochet in every stitch from round 2 to 18, and I will show you what it looks like at the end of round 18. So this is my handle at the end of round 18. Completed my last stitch. I can now cut my yarn, making sure I leave a long tail for attaching it to the mug later. And we can now move on to creating the coffee. So for the coffee, we're going to repeat the instruction of the mugs round 1 to 6, creating a circle of 36 stitches. So you can go back at the beginning for the instruction of the mug, and I'll meet you back for the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going to do them in purple just so you can see something, because black is not ideal. But I'm starting with a slip knot, and then I'm going to crochet 3 chains, excuse me. So we're going to chain 3. We're going to find the second chain from the hook and do 1 single crochet. In the last chain, we're going to do 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3. Then continuing on the other side, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Now we're going to find our first stitch, going backwards, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch to join to create an oval, and that's our eye. So you can create a second one, and you can cut the yarn, leaving a long tail again for attaching it to the mug. And here are my 2 that I created using black yarn. So now all of our parts are done. Now what's left is to assemble and create texture. So first I'm going to attach the coffee into the mug. So to do this, we're going to find the back loops that were left from round 20. So in round 20 we crocheted in the front loops only. So that means our back loops are still visible inside the mug. So we're going to attach our coffee using that stitch and just sew it into each stitch. So there should be 36 stitches on the mug and there's 36 stitches on the coffee. So just stitch it around, and once you've done maybe 3/4 of it, you can stop. We're going to stuff it before closing everything up. So here I'm going to stuff my mug until it's nice and filled, and then I'm going to, once I have it stuffed to how I like it, I'm going to close up the rest of the coffee, and then we'll be ready to create our texture. Okay, for the fun part of making it all furry, all you have to do is brush. So using a cat slicker brush, any pet brush, I think that's metal should work as well. I heard a dog brush could work as well. You just grab your piece that you want to make furry and you just brush in every direction. Brush, 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 and brush some more until you create the fuzzy texture that you like. Here I try to avoid the blue area because that's where I'm going to put the eyes, and I want that to not be fuzzy. But everything that's white, I just brushed to create all of the fur. So you can to brush quite a while, and the more you brush, the more texture it creates. The last thing I do when I'm about done is spend a couple of seconds just around the face to really pull the hairs around there, making them stand up. So I'll go back and brush the cheeks, the kind of hair area and the beard area, making sure that the hair is standing up and that fuzzy, fluffy texture is really showing. Last thing to do is not forget to create a texture on the handle of the mug as well. So use the handle piece and again brush it with your cat brush until you have the furry texture that you like. It's much easier to do this before attaching it to the mug. So once we've achieved the furriness of our mug, and we can continue our assembly, I'm going to put the eyes next. So I think I put mine about 5 stitches apart in the middle of the blue area. I'm going to stitch those into place. Next up, you can find how you want to put up your handle. Sometimes I do a tear shape. I think I just kept it as a half circle for this mug, but then you just attach your handle to the mug. So I use my leftover yarn that was still attached to the handle piece, and going to attach the top, then weave it in through the mug to attach the bottom. And once that's done, don't cut it quite yet. If you still have some left, we're going to use the leftover of the tail to stitch in the pupils of the eyes. So here with my leftover tail, I'm just embroidering the pupil of the eyes, just weaving back my needle and my yarn a couple times to create the pupil. So here I've also embroidered a little bit of a nose. So how I do this is I run my yarn parallel a couple of times and go the other direction up and just put my needle back and forth up to create the shape of the nose. So the more you do this, the larger your nose is going to grow. So choose a size that you like. And once you're done, I use my cat slicker brush again to create just a tiny bit of texture of furriness on the tippy top of the nose. Last thing that you can do with a cat slicker brush is create a little bit of steam. Something I like to do on many of my mugs. So what you do is grab a piece of yarn, I'd say maybe 10 or 15 centimeter, and then tie it, weave it through this magic circle in the middle of your coffee and tie it into place to make sure it's nice and secure. Then you just grab your cat slicker brush and brush it. And in the end, that's going to create some steam, making sure your coffee is piping hot. So here you can also cut it if it's too long and go back and brush it. Mine was a little bit too long, and adjust it just how you like it. You can go twirl it with your finger as well, or separate the strands even more until it's just how you like it. And there you have it. Your crochet Yeti mug is all finished. I hope you loved making this project and have lots of fun playing with it in your play kitchen. If you're looking for more mugs, I have a snowman one that's also perfect for winter. They're a great pair. And the free witching pattern for this one is available on my blog, so I will leave the link in the description box. I also have patterns for every season, so if you like me and like to decorate for every season, be sure to check my blog. I have some for Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Halloween, you name it, I have it. And lastly, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel. And if you like more easy crochet project and practical tips, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thank you so much for crocheting this with me, and I will see you soon.